just amazing. At the beginning of the year, I just shared that. I just felt it was the year to speak of the glory of God in our lives. That everything we do it with honesty and integrity. And I never really realised that, 10 months later, I'd still be speaking on the same topic. And the more I read the Word of God, I think in the next 10 years, you could still be reading about the same topic. The amount of books that you pick up and have a look at, it gives you a fresh revelation of what the Word of God says. And the last couple of weeks, I've been looking at wisdom. And I'm just going to continue on that theme this morning. Wisdom. Wow. Solomon was asked, he was given like a blank cheque, he was given a wish. Evertonians were given the wish yesterday, would have started, I wish Everton had been, wouldn't they? But Solomon was asked what would he like. And he asked for wisdom. And because he asked for wisdom, he was given everything else. And he's going to have a look at all the other things what happened. Because Solomon asked for wisdom, this is what happened to the nation. 2 Chronicles 9, verses 1 to 8. 2 Chronicles 9, verses 1 to 8. When the Queen of Sheba heard of Solomon's fame, she came to Jerusalem to test him with hard questions, arriving with a very great caravan. Even a caravan in those days, with camels carrying spices, large quantities of gold, precious stones. She came to Solomon and talked with him about all she had on her mind. Solomon answered all her questions. Nothing was too hard for him to explain to her. When the Queen of Sheba saw the wisdom of Solomon, as well as the palace he had built, the food on his table, the beautiful steaks, the seating of his officials, the attending servants in their robes, the cupbearers in their robes, and the burnt offerings he made at the temple of the Lord, she was overwhelmed. She said to the king, "The report I heard in my own country about your achievements and your wisdom is true. But I did not believe what they said until I came and saw with my own eyes. Indeed, not even half the greatness of your wisdom was told me. You have far exceeded the report I heard. How happy your men must be. How happy your officials who continually stand before you and hear your wisdom. Praise be to the Lord your God, who is delighted in you and placed you on his throne as his king to rule for the Lord your God. Because of the love of your God for Israel and his desire to uphold them forever, he has made you king over them to maintain justice and righteousness." Wow, what a passage, eh? Incredible, isn't it? What a passage. Besides Jesus, Solomon was the wisest man that has ever lived. He caught the attention of his entire generation. People were in awe of him. Royalty from other nations were overwhelmed by him. Amazingly, the world's definition of wisdom is focused on the attainment and use of knowledge. Okay? That's what the world's definition of wisdom is. It's on the attainment and use of knowledge, which isn't really wrong. It's just misleading. Biblical wisdom is this: to see with divine perspective. It is the creative expression of God, bringing practical solutions to the issues of everyday life. That's what biblical wisdom is. I'll say that again. To see with divine perspective. It is the creative expression of God, bringing practical solutions to the issues of everyday life. Who has choices to make every day? Yes? That's why we need wisdom. That's why we need wisdom. For John and Debbie yesterday at their wedding, wasn't it a great day? Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. You know, some of their family and friends said it's the best wedding they've ever been to. Isn't that fantastic? A daughter said, Shiva, and a boyfriend said it was that good be coming to church when you get back from your holidays. Now, for them to say that, even if they don't come, to say it, it must have been touched, mustn't it? Wow. And one of the things I said to Debbie, who was here, and John, is that be careful of your choices. Every time you make a choice, you've got to think of the other. I don't know about you, men, but we don't have felt that sometimes, don't we? I know I do. I make a choice without consulting anyone. Hey? You've got to be truthful. You know, it's incredible. We have to, whatever choice we make, we've got to think of others, because the choices we make affect everybody around us. The effects of Solomon having the gift of wisdom brought Israel into the greatest time of peace and prosperity they had ever known. Wow. Isn't that incredible? I thought Jackie had the John Cleese walk. I thought, dude, that's a good John Cleese walk. When did you practice that? For those who are watching on the internet, she just went below the camera so she didn't record, but it looked like a John Cleese walk. Amazingly, nothing to do with the John Cleese walk. Wisdom through one man changed the entire nation. Isn't that incredible, Will? Wisdom through one man changed the entire nation. Wow. Think of this. What could happen with millions of born-again believers embracing this God-given opportunity? If one man can change a nation, how much more millions of believers can change the world around them? Isn't that incredible? But that's the gift God has given you and me to do. I know I keep on saying that, but we're all called to minister. God has called you to make a difference in your world. Wow, isn't that incredible? So if one man can change a nation, how much more can change the entire world? Yeah. The wisdom of God, reflected in his people, can only bring joy, it can only bring praise and honour before all nations on earth. So if we are full of wisdom in our world, the people who we meet in our week, we can only bring joy to them. We can only bring praise into their lives.